Hello, everybody. How you guys doing? Yeah, it's been a very long time. Trust me, I miss you guys too. But it's all good. It's all good. Just help me share this video. If today is your first time of encountering us, either by YouTube or Facebook or Instagram or by whatever means you are. My name is Dr. Chidi Wanyanwo. This is WMTV, and I'd like to welcome you and make sure you subscribe. If you are on YouTube and you have not subscribed, give us a thumbs up, leave us a comment. That way you can and click the notification bell so that way you can know whenever we come live. If you're on Facebook, make sure you like us and that you make sure you also spread the information, like send it to your friends, share it on a group, share it on your page. Help us to disseminate this information, because the kind of things we do, nobody wants to spread the news. Actually, they try to um, suppress whatever we are able to come up with. So it is people like you that help us to spread the news. Esther Oluyide, Grandma Esther Oluyide, I see you. Thank you so much for logging on pretty earlier than everybody else. I can see other people, Kim David, Rahim Gaffari on Facebook. Thank you guys so much for logging in. It's important. Yes, Rahim, longest time. Thank you so much. But let's take this message to other people. Let's go ahead and spread the message. Let us invite people. You know, they don't like us, so they won't spread. Their algorithm will, will pretend it doesn't recognize what we're doing. So help me spread this. Help me share. Just get on your phone and just share it to everybody. Yes, Jeffet Walker, longest time. Yeah, please help us share the video. Dr. Erica, thank you so much. On Majali Monday, Ella Oyetube. They think that we are finished. You know, a lot. Excuse me. I know this government official a Nigerian government official who used to be so shaken by the activity of activists. And recently, I noticed that he was excited on social media. He started posting, he started feeling like very, very comfortable, you know. And now, because he thought that we're done, he thought activism was finished. But recently, when they started seeing text from Omoyele Sowore saying that, you know what, we are informing you, just in case you don't know, that we are coming back on the 20th of October for EndSARS remembrance. Don't say it's a secret. We're informing you through every means. And Femi Falana wrote them, and everybody, all of a sudden, they're like, now wow, I thought you guys were done with. I said, how can? Haven't you heard so many times that you cannot kill an idea that its time has come? When they heard that IPOB said that if on the 20th, 2 days from now, you don't bring Mazi Nnamdi Kanu to court, there will be wahala, 1 month sit at home. All of a sudden, they are waking up again. The EndSARS, all the demands from the EndSARS group that the government did not even do anything about, all of a sudden, the government is waking up and saying, oh, they're going to do this, they're going to do that. You know, it's very ridiculous, very, very ridiculous. Let me continue to acknowledge those of you who have signed in while we're waiting for our special guest today. Very special guest. This is the only man that is keeping the government on their toes. This is the man that is giving them a headache. A headache. They should have let him go back to his place, return back to his home. No. You go carry the person, put for your house. Na there wahala be now. You know, they say small pikin wey talk say mama no go sleep. You have to stay awake now to see that your mama no sleep. So federal government of Nigeria says Sowore no go rest. They have to they have to confront him now. But let me acknowledge Omajali Monday, Ella Onyetube, Samson Mama, I see all of you. John Oroko, Kemi Omosanya, Jenny B. Hey, Jenny B, how are you? How are you, my sister? Big ups to you. Abdul Nat Aibangbe, thank you. And Crown Cool, Lan Redo. I see all of you. I see all of you. Wale Musa, Kelechi Eze. Yes, we're waiting for our special guest to join us live. I'm just gonna do a quick call to make sure everything is okay. I'm transmitting through StreamYard, so I'm hoping he's gonna join us through StreamYard. He's gonna join us through StreamYard in a moment, guys. So just hold with you. Check it out. I sent the link. Okay, guys. So yeah, we're good. Buchilo. Yes. How are you, my brother? Good to see you. Good to see you, Buchilo. How's the whole arrangement for the baby thing coming up? Yeah, I saw your link, and I'm gonna do something about it. In fact, you should give us so we can spread it around. It's good news, so we should get a lot of people involved. Yes, Fidel Harry, Felix Soslow, and everybody, big ups to you. Osakwe Iyamu. Our guest is coming on very soon. He just asked to give him a few minutes. Um, we don't need we get all the time. You see, for some time now, people are like, Chidi, we know they see you now. Dr. Chidi, where are you? Where are you? What is happening? What's happening? I say, relax. Some will say, now wow, Dr. Chidi, did they threaten you? What is happening? I say, relax. See, nothing they happen. You see, in life, there is time for everything under the sun. There's a time to dance Ajasco, but there's a time to dance blues. That's why we have rhythm and blues. And there is also a time, there's also a time to dance reggae. Reggae music, you know reggae? What do you know? There's a time to dance reggae now. After the reggae, you play the blues. So as we did, yes, thank you so much, TS Sport. Nigeria, they're on autopilot. They just they cruise, they go. We just they look them. We just no, we're not supposed to follow you. They just they shout. If I go here, we'll go here. No, smarter will just pull back. They look una because Nigeria as a country don't fail break. Since motor just fail break. You won't go put hand for steering no day again. What do you go do? Steering no day. So the people waiting for side come they complain. Say, okay, Chidi, where you dey now? Where on a day? When I know they turn the vehicle, say relax. This motor no get driver. No, not be me the driver. Why not be the driver? No. They say, what of now the Kano no dey there? Igbo no dey there too. They say, what of Sowore? They don't even let Sowore. So who they drive the vehicle? We don't know. They say, we don't get head for where? We don't get head. Even tail, Kuma, we don't get. So when I just they move, we just they go. Just like that. So wait till that they dance, they dance the legge. Legge, now what we they dance. So go say after the legge play the blues. So on the 20th of October, I got Omoyele cassette. As an Igbo man, when we put cassette for you, you go dance. Record. It's here, look at record. And when you look at, record or cassette. I lewa near the cassette. Lewa. You know that cassette where they put, some of you don't even know. You know that cassette where you go bring and come put pen, come rewind. When you reach that place where so that LCD, thank you so much. But before LCD, we go for Nigerian government on the 20th, we want to put cassette for them. So when you bring the cassette, you get one place where they cut. Nigerian government go cut our cassette. They cut our cassette. So we can't go bring the cassette. That cassette, you go bring her. Then you go get sellotape, come tape her. We will don't tape her. After we tape and finish, you go cut the sellotape for the side, cut the sellotape for the side, come blow am. Then you go. The problem be say you don't close the cassette before you put down the tape. So we can't waste time again. We can't open the cassette again. We can't make sure say everything dey okay. Then we can't put the thing inside. Cassette recorder, rock, you get am. So after we come fix and finish, because it coil inside, it is coil. When we do EndSARS, that it coil. So now we don't bring her, we don't cut off the part where no good, don't join her. Then we come wine her finish, because the battery we don't use. We don't want to make the battery. If you use battery to rewind cassette, it go die. Some of you don't even know what I'm talking. Somebody say, what is Dr. Chidi talking about? I thought we came here to talk about EndSARS. Wait now, wait. They run, they try to show you something. So as I was saying, so we don't repair the cassette finish, we call because we dey use battery. You know that battery where you say if it die, you go put am for sun, make it charge. Now recharge, who tell you say we know they use rechargeable? Do you know when we started using rechargeable battery? You can't tell us rechargeable battery. We dey come, Dave, relax. Just cool down. Take it easy. So Sowore dey come. This way, Tiger battery, my brother. What will they do when you go watch cinema? They just start to show you kung fu. They show you Bruce Lee immediately. I mean, they show you the main film. No, get supporting film. This one I'm doing now is supporting film. After the supporting film, then we'll go show you the real film. The real film they come. That one, an actor the inside. So actor they come. After that one, then we'll come. Yeah, I did live. This was not say I did live. Oh. So as I was saying now, the battery wey we dey give una sporting film, the actor dey come now, just a few minutes he will come. We're just fixing something. So when he come, I will bring that in. So just bear with us. The next 5 minutes will be here. Sorry about that. But we won't put cassettes for the federal government of Nigeria. When we put that cassette, a dance is about to happen. The main dance for the night is about to happen. You know that dance where we say you go to look for person where you carry come. You can't realize say you no carry anybody come. Hey, no excuse me dance for this one. This one are real, like everything scatter. That's what's about to happen, man. Why we're here is to ginger you, to make you understand that the spirit of EndSARS is still there. The Nigeria youth is more awoken. We are woke. We are woke than before. I don't know where that English come from. Everybody say we are woke. I'm woke. We've all woken. We've woken up. And there's no going back. No. There's no going back. In fact, we've multiplied. In the past, it used to be take it back movement. They do our take it back. Go cool down. Go keep quiet. Now it's not only take it back. We don't graduate to revolution now. IPOB, they their own, they vibrate. Oduduwa Republic, they for their own, they vibrate. Middle Belt, Niger Delta, Arewa Republic, everybody don't join. Today, you will hear from the person who knows about what's going on. People like me sometimes will be a team who they shout, they report the reported action. This is as I did for Canada, they report the reported action. But sometimes you need to hear from the people where they inside the action by themselves. They did inside. You understand? Don't be say now reported something. Now them, don't be say they did for the action. Now them be the action themselves. You understand? That them be the action, then they inside the action. Maybe I should have waited a little bit before going live, but we really had to go live because we don't want people to think that we wasted their time. But Omoyele Sowore just informed me that he's trying to log in. You know how it is. Sometimes they try to block his internet access. He has to switch over to another network provider. That's why sometimes we don't advertise some of these things. But don't worry. Hey, thank you so much. Thank you so much, my brother. We will wait. We go wait. We will be waiting. We don't wait for these people. In fact, now patience. My middle name now patience with them. We just they watch them. Say sometimes it's best for you to just no talk. Sometimes it's better make you just no talk. But we get plenty to talk. And for all of you who waited, all of you who have been patiently waiting, I can assure you that your wait is not in vain, because in a short while from now, I'm going to bring into the studio the man of the moment. If you don't know why he's the man of the moment, you need to go back and just get a little check on your medulla oblongata. But without wasting time, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to welcome in our midst today Omoyele Sowore, Mr. President. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much, Dr. Chidi, for bringing me on your show. It's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a while. It's been a while. It's good to see you.
Thank you.
I don't know how you're able to manage to look nice under the situation in Nigeria.
Yeah, this is make best of every situation you find yourself as well. It's
Yes. Yeah,
Go
thank you
ahead.
so much. Thank you so much. Yeah, as we've been seeing your tweets everywhere. At the
Yeah.
time, it looked like they were winning, like nothing was happening. And all of a sudden, we saw a message from you saying that we are informing you ahead of time that on the 20th of October that there's going to be action. That why is that? Why are you rocking the boat?
It was because when it was announced that there will be some kind of action, even before it was announced, the police and the government came out and said nobody will be allowed to come out to exercise their fundamental right to protest and associate and express themselves freely on October 20th, 2021, which is exactly the year that we were going to commemorate the EndSARS rebellion in Nigeria, and also remember the people who were martyred on that day. So I had to quickly reply that regardless of what happens, there will be action on that day. I don't know how far, but I knew it will be all over the country. And at this point, it's not all over Nigeria, it's gone global. Of course, there's going to be something in Toronto, there'll be something in London, and other cities around the world are planning their own. So it's EndSARS is a global event. It happened less than a year ago, as of today, and we must keep that spirit going. And it was important to announce to the Nigerian authorities that it's unacceptable to tell people not to gather for any reason whatsoever, even if it's not EndSARS. We have a default position on fundamental human rights. Whether it's enshrined in Nigerian constitution or not, doesn't matter. That's why they call them fundamental. They are born with us. We have a right to associate, express ourselves, to protest, uh, whether the government likes it or not, whether they want it or not.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I have a very short time with you. I'm going to try to maximize it as much as possible. I want to set the records straight, okay? Because some people try so much to try to change the narrative about this NSAS for records purposes. Because at the time, people said, "Oh, Omoyele Sowore came to hijack NSAS." Give us a little background about how this NSAS, the word NSAS, even came about. Whether it was a 2020 thing or it was even before 2020. I think I need to set the record straight on that.
But I don't know the exact year, but I knew that, to be fair to a guy called Shegun Awosanya, Sega Link, his nom de guerre, he set up a group. I was part of that group on WhatsApp, where he was talking about how to end police brutality in Nigeria. And we joined that group, I think it was a few years ago. But I had to leave. I was in the US. I had to leave the group. I said, look, I'm doing so much on Sahara Reporters. My life is all over the place. I can't add another side uh, struggle to what I'm doing already. So I quit that. I did leave that group. Uh, there was Mahmoud, who lawyer, was involved in. Even Femi Adeye was in that group. Raf, Raf of our Mahmoud Andu was in that group. So all these persons were all in the group, but he
I think
carried on after that.
I think Deji was in the group too.
I think the Jew was. I'm not sure now, but
Okay, okay,
Femi Adeye has all the list of people.
okay. Femi was there
So
too. Yeah.
yeah, but it was the idea of Shegun Awosanya to start it. So, and he invited us. We all joined. It was a fantastic idea. But over time, the government started to get jittery about it, and he kind of must have also accepted with them to not call it NSAS, but call it Reform SARS. So
Mm.
at that point, it's typical of government. They start changing uniform, but not character. And but people latched onto that name NSAS because SARS had become a cancer, a police brutality cancer in society. But if you fast forward to 2020,
Yeah.
when somebody was attacked in Ugeli in Delta State and the video came out, people were saying we should end SARS. In fact, I think October 4th or so, around the early October, I issued a tweet, it's still on my timeline, that is anybody out there who wants to join me for an EndSARS protest in Abuja, an EndSARS protest in Nigeria, they should indicate. And I was surprised. People said, yes, let's do it, let's do it. So I was one of the first persons to call for an EndSARS protest. And one of the first to do an EndSARS protest in Abuja. We took our protest to the police headquarters. It was live. In fact, I was one of the persons who informed and guided some of the EndSARS, early EndSARS protesters how to go about it. Because some of them they're doing protests for the first time in their lives. I had chats with Femi Falana on how to defend them. I had discussions with Faz, his son, and tried to reach out to a lot of celebrities. Some of the celebrities, I had to call them out on Twitter, you know, and I can name people like Tiwa Savage, uh, was Don Jazzy. I even had a fight with Burna Boy on Twitter,
I
when he was
remember.
with me. So I wanted all of them, and they eventually joined. I called so many of them privately. People like Simi, I reached out to her, she never responded. I reached out to Macaroni, Renu. I spoke to Renu when they started their own in the cage. I asked her people to join her, and then she got upset that they were distributing revolution now posters. She doesn't want to sort of see that they got upset. They had a fight. But what happened? And immediately the movement started growing. More people joined, and government wanted to rein in EndSARS to ensure that it didn't become something else. I think they knew in advance that it was just a metaphor for fighting against bad governance in the country, and it was going to go out of control. People were frustrated with the regime. And that was where the idea was hatched to start attacking me and those of us in revolution now as outcasts. And of course, they had hired the PDP people, the APC people were against us. Everybody was, the celebrities wanted to take glory for it. And they started saying that they don't want any leaders. I wasn't trying to be leader of it, as I was the one who started the protest. Even their subsequent protests that I joined, I didn't go to the front. I just wanted for there to be a rebellion against a system of oppression in the country. And when it culminated in what happened in front of the National Assembly, I stood my ground because I knew that it had been planned. In fact, I think Reno Omokri was mobilizing people even before then with giveaways. So I knew that it was going to happen. That's why I stood my ground. And some of them apologized and we left. After we left the place, I continued to be part of the EndSARS, continued to mobilize for it. In fact, when the Lagos State government, I was the one who warned for the first time that government was planning to attack EndSARS people with the military. All these things are on my Twitter timeline. And when Lagos introduced their so-called curfew, I told people that not to stay where they are. So I was involved to the end. And when they started killing people, and after that. But where we got even more involved was when the celebrities all left. The money people left. People remained in prison, and we had to be pulling them out of prison and supporting them with the help of a legal team put together by Femi Fala. I know some other persons put the legal team together, but we did take out a lot of people from prison, starting from Ogun State. And I saw that it was just to just claim credit for everything, and I wasn't interested in claiming credit for anything. I was more interested in getting those who were in detention liberated. And we continued till even in Ondo State when we got that lady out who had a baby in detention. So everywhere we could turn, we made sure that people were freed. And I think there's still some people who are in detention. We're still working with persons in Oyo State who are undergoing trial and in prison. And there's still some people in Lagos as well who are detained, who are trying to assist. So I just give you just a rough clarification about EndSARS and how the latest EndSARS started and where it is. Let me say that so many, but part of the mistakes that it wasn't a mistake. It was just sometimes inexperience and naivete. It was that everybody was just rushing to the front to claim credit for it. So this is a big issue. If I wanted to claim credit for it on my own level, I could have been organizing my own people differently. Throughout the EndSARS protest, I was sending money and food and my car when I couldn't attend to be in Abuja throughout the EndSARS protest. My house was a beehive of activities for people who want to go to EndSARS, people who come back, who want a place to stay. So I never stopped supporting EndSARS because I knew that it would have such a massive impact on the psychology of power. And it did. And that was why they responded with the high-handed violence that you saw at Lekki Tollgate.
Yeah. What it was really important that we emphasize this because I know that the very first, in fact, most of the posters that were produced at the EndSARS protest in Abuja was sponsored by you. I know that the blood, you forget the part, there was blood that was used to write EndSARS on the ground in front of the police. Yeah. I know that blood was gotten from abattoir. It was you that requested for that blood. So it was yes. But just to clarify, it's not human blood. It was animal blood.
We got it from an abattoir. So it was just
It was
to
symbolic to show that people's blood were
demonstrate
so.
that a lot of blood has been spilled by this murderous police. Yeah.
Exactly. So I needed to because people are so fond of running someone down that they don't realize that they are just doing the job of the state, the job of the police, the job of the government. They are deliberately putting this person down, and you are also joining them to do it. Right from your school days, you fought for Goodluck Jonathan to be the president. Later on, everybody forgot about that fight. The only one they remembered is that you fought for Goodluck Jonathan not to be president. Nobody remembered when you fought for him to be president. But anyways, that's beside
I
the
think
point.
it's instructive and necessary that people should always understand this. I was on the show yesterday. I repeated the same that I've said it several times. If you're towing the path of righteousness, and then I'm not sounding religious here, you are going to come against principalities. Powerful people are going to come against you. Some people do it for different reasons, for ignorance. Some people do it out of just hatred. People do it for ethnicity, religion, all kinds of reasons. But you tell me, which of the heroes of liberation in the world have never been ridiculed before? You know, I drew your attention on one of these shows to a tweet that was issued by Martin Luther King's daughter. I think it was a few years ago, when everybody was saying the father was the best. Said, there was a poll done in the US in the 60s that said his father is the worst person in the US. And it was at the peak of his fight for civil rights. Everybody, the whites, that dominated the media and the posters saw him as a bad person. And part of why they do that is it's what prepared him for assassination. So that when he got killed, they were hoping that everybody would have like, yeah, a bad person just died, but it turned out to be to his advantage in life. So he was his transition to permanent life. So nobody should bother about. It doesn't bother me, that people run me down. I expect it. I offend them genuinely. I offend the oppressors. I don't let them hide their money. I don't let them send their children to school with the money that should have been used to build schools. I don't let them rest, even though they are the most powerful in the world. They throw me into jail. I come out. I keep speaking. They shoot me. I keep talking. They broke my nose. I keep talking. They break my head. I keep talking. They kill my brother. I keep talking. They don't know what to do. So what they do is the little money they steal, not little money, the huge amount of resources at their disposal, the illegitimate wealth that's at disposal. They sprinkle it around. And like you said, some of the people who even repeat these things are innocently just repeating them because, Father, forgive them because they do not know what they're doing. They don't know any better. They just say, oh, somebody told me that Sowore told me, yeah, somebody told me that Sowore did this. And they have not figured out, they've never researched. They will just take it and run. And worst case these days, they can give them giveaways. Go and attack Sowore, you get 5,000. These days you can get somebody who will go and assassinate somebody for 2,000 naira. And they will come back and say, I just killed a good man. I didn't know, but it would have been too late. So there's a lot of that. The digital assassinations you are seeing, they are well funded, well coordinated, because it's just one man against a raging machine of oppression in the country. And this machine cut across all the political interests, it cut across religious barriers, it cut across, cultural, enclaves. You are fighting all these people so that you can shed light in society, so that people can see. Because they know the moment there's awareness, oppression becomes very difficult to operate. They hate that.
But show, why do you keep doing this? What see, because people, it's obvious now. It's obvious to whoever cares that it's not political power. It's not financial gain. It's not a name. You made your name with Sahara reporters. You CNN depended on Sahara. If CNN wanted, I remember those days before I even met you. CNN will say that as according to Sahara reporters when CNN is trying to verify something. So it's not thin, and you've lost so much. You even lost your brother. I'm actually shocked that in the light, in the same period that you just lost your brother, when nobody was bold enough to talk about EndSARS memorial, you stepped up and you say you're going to the front line to protest. Why do you do this? What are you looking for?
I'm just looking for freedom. You know, I when people ask me when my brother died and I was doing an interview, I said, "Why did you do this? Can't you just go cry?" And I said, if I had been the one who died, this my brother would have been happy for what I died for. He will say to you, "My brother died for what he's always believed in." And on the flip side, when he died, if he could look back, he would be happy that I didn't stop doing what I was doing because he always wanted me to be who I am. And because I don't know if you read what I wrote about him, he taught me to be, even though I was the older person, he was the radical when we were kids who didn't want to go to school and stood his ground when my father was chasing him around. He said, "School is not for me." And when my father was no longer alive, he went back to school to register for pharmacy at the age of 47. So he was a specific countercultural kid who loved people who stand for what they believe in. But so he's somebody that was an inspiration to me as a kid. But I've been through so much that I don't even have to explain to people why I do what I do. I just think that people should understand that some people can do what is right, even when everybody is doing what is wrong. And I'm privileged. I count it as privilege that I'm in a position to stand up for what is good when everybody is falling for not anything and nothing most of the time.
Wow. You started revolution now. The government came after you. They clamped down on you. They arrested you. They broke your shoulder. They threw you in prison. They broke your nose. They shot you in the leg, dislocated your leg. And here you are again, staring the hornet's nest and calling everybody out again. And one, tell me, you'll be able to say this better. Immediately you announced that we're coming back for the EndSARS memorial, all of a sudden the federal government woke up and they started doing some things. All of a sudden, immediately you announced that we're going to commemorate the EndSARS. I think Osibanjo, tell us some of the things they've done since that
So
time.
they issued a very long statement saying that suddenly they are going to pay compensation to everybody, including it's any state that has concluded its panel work. We are paying you. We are paying compensation to all the persons that were victims of SARS and those who suffered losses during NSARS. This is a year after. They never talked about it before. And then they said they will start prosecuting the policemen who were indicted, in SARS violence. And then they said the third thing, which was in Abuja, the Abuja panel investigating SARS had been dead for 7 months. Nothing was happening there. They revived it. It started sitting today again. So they were panicking. And the reason why they had to respond that way was when they realized that the initial threats by the police that nobody would go out was met with resistance, like vehemence. They knew that people were not joking. And the way they interpret EndSARS is not the way people think of it. The people in government, the message they got from EndSARS rebellion was bigger than what those of us who did EndSARS thought they had. They thought it was going to be a regime change agenda, that the regime was going down. For them, it was their first confrontation with a revolution. They saw the people coming. They imagined an envisage in their minds that this NSAS could end up in the living rooms of Aso Rock. And we were getting close to that. Because security agents were no longer resuming to work in a lot of states. Governors were thinking about running away. Uh, People were united in Jos. at that palliative liberation center where people went to take their palliative, there were no Christians and Muslims. All of them were helping themselves without any difference. Just that there had been a place of disunity for years. Suddenly everybody came together to go and take what belongs to them. So those security reports coming back from each of the centers of rebellion was showing that people were getting ready to unite and march on their oppressors. Then it was getting to the stage where, as in Calabar, people were starting to go to the homes of senators. And it will start from senators and local chairman, local government chairman, and eventually people will storm government houses across the country. And that's how revolution starts. And they saw it. That's the reason why they're so scared of EndSARS. And the fact that it came from young people, they knew that there's a lot of power behind that. So to scare people away, they had to do what they did at Lekki Tollgate. Uh, we would have sustained EndSARS and probably have a different story to tell you today had there been leadership, like real leadership of EndSARS, not superficial kind of leadership. And the government was trying to force leadership on EndSARS. You saw there was a time, it was the video they brought at the time they went and brought Naira Mali. But it needed to be some kind of organic leadership from the base. We lost out on that. And that's why they hated me, because they know that it's no way I could be leading the entire process and you get out of it. Because I would have called the most massive protest on the 21st of October after the EndSARS, after the killings at Lekki. And people would have answered across the world without hesitation.
Okay, so
if at the minimum, nobody would have ever tried this again.
Sure. So now the die is cast. There's no going back because since you said it, people were watching. People wanted to know whether it was. Nobody responded, like always. But right now, the fire has been lit. It's everywhere. And I even heard that the government said they were going to give them protection, and they said they are not giving them. Just let us run through what's expected in Nigeria on the 20th of October.
There's going to be marches and memorials across the country. Marches will start in the morning. As usual, people will march across and processions across the city to commemorate EndSARS rebellion itself. And in the evenings, in the early evenings, there will be candlelight processions in about 20 cities that we have heard from now, including your city, Enugu, the core city, Port Harcourt. There's going to be something in Yola, Adamawa State. Some people are planning something in Mina, Niger State. There will be something in Akure. There will be something in Akungba, also in Ondo State, Ibadan. There will be something in Benin City. A lot of cities are signed up to take action on that day. Calabar, I heard, is gearing up as well, as well as Yo. So, and some cities might sign up now, and more cities might join on their own, depending on what they see happening early that morning. But I'm hopeful that a lot of people will participate. So let's be very clear that it's meant to be peaceful. It is
Awesome.
meant to be peaceful. We are peaceful people. We just hate peace of the graveyard. That's peace
Yes,
without justice.
yes. Omoyele Sowore. Let's talk about Nnamdi Kanu. People don't seem to understand the relationship between you and Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. And so many things that are happening right now. You're like a prophet. You predicted so many things that are happening right now, and that's why you're unmoved, you're unshaken. You just remain consistent because you are not, like you always say, you're not impressed, you're not surprised. You understand this. You understand the way these people act. You followed them for years, so it's amazing that you've been in court when Nnamdi Kanu was in court, and why do you do this? What's this thing about Mazi Nnamdi Kanu? I want people to understand your relationship with him. What do you think about Nnamdi Kanu? What do you think about the Biafran struggle? And then after we'll also talk about Igboho.
You know, I've said it before. If you look at my position on any struggle for that matter, any social movement, it's been consistent. Social movements are a tonic for restructuring society. Restructuring is not a thing of the mouth. You want to restructure your society, put together social movement to shake the power, to their roots and get them to let you have the freedom and the progress and development you need. So there were times that I've been critical of the IPOB group, and it was at the stage where they were alienating other oppressed persons. And I did run an interview in London about it. In a sense, where Yorubas are cowards, Hausas. I said to look, are you sure that the Hausas also don't want to join you? Or, the Talakawas don't want to join you? Stop demonizing other oppressed people. And I see that stopped. Look at where we are now. Everybody talks about IPOB and Nnamdi Kanu because it has expanded their knowledge of what the Biafra movement is about. It's about justice. It's about saying, look, if you can't fix us, leave us alone. In Nigeria, as I often say, has left a lot of people behind. It's a broken space. So people who are saying to you that they no longer trust the Nigeria that they were born into, they died for, lost people to on their own. You can't just dismiss, especially when you know you have a leadership out there. Out of people that carried out the atrocities in the 60s and who don't care about what is happening on the ground. It is true that the Southeast is abandoned. It is also true that the Southwest is abandoned. It's also true that the Midwest is abandoned, or that the North Central is abandoned, or the Northeast has been abandoned. Every part of the country has been abandoned. And in all this, the reason I came to meet Kanu was, look, I keep listening to his messages and I see that these messages were evolving. And we at the point it was time to talk, and you arranged a meeting between me and him in New York City. And when we met, it was a great meeting. Except that he said he's not going back on his word about breaking away. Remember I told him, I said, look, you break away. Before you break, if you don't break the back of the system, a breakaway is almost impossible. Here, when we were about to leave, he said, I heard you are going to Nigeria. Are you crazy? These people are crazy. I told him, I said, if you don't go to Nigeria, Nigeria will go to you if you don't break the back of the system. So I came back to Nigeria. I was arrested, detained. When I got out, he sent messages to me. He said, leave, they're going to kill you. I said, I know that. But even you are not safe as long as this rogue state is in place. And one day I woke up and they said he's been brought back to the country. I ran to court. Before I got there, they had smuggled him out. Because that's the nature of the rogue state. It's only when the revolution breaks the back of the rogue state that any affiliate state that shares boundary with this country can be saved. Anyone. If they can go to Kenya to go and bring him, what will it cause them to go to Biafra, even if there's a Biafra nation today, to go and be kidnapping and killing people from there? It won't cause them anything. So except you deal with the behemoth in a revolutionary manner, as a united front of oppressed people, everything that you want to achieve in your individual corner as a beautiful nation, as it's been described, will be frustrated by the rogues who are your next door neighbors.
And it's the same light. Go ahead.
It's the same light for the Yoruba movement as well. When the Yoruba movement came,
Exactly.
I reached out to them. I said to them, let's unite. What you're doing, I was telling them to unite across board. Because at the point I also reached out to the Shiites, who are not Yorubas or Igbos. They are Northerners, but their own rogue brothers kill more of them than they've ever killed anybody. And the reason why they went after the Shiites first, when Buhari came to power, was to show to you that if we can do this to our people, then who are you? But people took it for granted. They said, oh, they're Shiites. They're unbelievers. They're troublesome. They want an Islamic nation, so let them kill themselves. The moment they were done with the Shiites, they went down south to the east. When they were done with the east, they went to the Yoruba nation. The Yorubas came out with a vibrant campaign strategy as well, but I warned them against it. Because some of them were mocking me when I was arrested, when I was beaten up, when I was shot. This cannot happen to us. It is because you are not with us. It's because you are not wearing the genuine Odeshi. I told them, the Nigerian state, when they are ready, as a rogue state, we harm anybody. But it dawned on everybody that I was right when one night they went to Boho's house and shot up the place, killed 2 people, arrested everybody they found there, including his cat, and almost killed him. Had he not escaped on time, they would have killed him. And nothing would have happened because nothing happened when they killed 2 people. Nobody raised a finger, just a few protests, everybody's moved on, we're forgotten. Sometimes these days, I don't even think people talk about this anymore. So, but in an organized fashion, imagine if all of us, IPOB, Yoruba, Shiites, can come together, students, market women, all the oppressed people in Nigeria, because our problem is a class oppressive system. And this class that's oppressing the rest of us come from different parts of the country. We know them here in Abuja. The richest of them may not even be a Hausa man, it might be an Igbo man or a Yoruba man. They are working together. They don't have differences. They don't have religious differences. They have cultural differences. They don't have ethnic differences when it's time to steal. But when they have issues, they start instigating ourselves against ourselves. Some of them are the ones sponsoring the divisions you're seeing. The unknown gunmen in the East is not all ESN. I don't even know if all ESN participates or not. It might be a project of the DSS, just like the FBI used to have blacks kill themselves in those days by giving them drugs and guns so that there will be instability in black neighborhoods, so that they can always portray blacks as people who cannot govern or govern themselves or organize themselves. It happened in South Africa. There was a black on black violence that almost wrecked the, the end of apartheid regime between the Counter Freedom Party people that the whites were sponsoring against the ANC members. A lot of people lost their lives. So those of us who have benefit of history and understanding of how the world works, we were able to advise that these things should be handled differently. But the moment it came to oppression, our default position in revolution now is to support any oppressed person, whether you are Shiite or IPOB or you are EndSARS or Yoruba activists. We stand with you. And that's why we're standing with Kanu, we're standing with Igboho, we're standing with everybody who's been unjustly roughened, harassed, murdered, assassinated, and deprived of their liberty or anything by this murderous regime. And people can see the difference now that we would support anyone who is oppressed. And that's the nation that we want, is the future we want, where everybody feels safe, wherever they might find themselves. That you're safe, that you are not unjustly killed, you're not unjustly harassed, you are not unjustly detained. And I believe that if that society could come into place, nobody will ask for secession. Because where we run to, where you run to, what do you want there? Justice. The moment you get the form of social economic justice in Canada, you don't even want to care who is your counselor.
I don't even know.
You understand? I don't know the mayor of my city in the US. I don't know the name of the governor.
I don't know.
Vote with.
I don't know NEPA. I don't know anybody. I don't.
I don't know. Yes, I don't know the guy supplying electricity. I don't know the
I
guy
don't.
supplying water. I just go to work. I pay my bills. Everything
That's
runs.
all.
You know,
That's all.
I don't. If my phone is not working, I just call somebody. They might be in India or Jamaica. I don't know. Can you please let me have my phone working back? And they say, yes, sir. In 20 minutes, he'll be back, and he'll be back. That is the kind of life we want here as well. Because we believe the resources are available to do it, you know. But a few people are cornered these resources to themselves. And where people are cramped with poverty, all kinds of ideas, all kinds of affliction, we visit them. And when you're afflicted in different on when you're afflicted from different angles as you see so, you get confused. Some people think that it is still their village that is waiting for them to help them out of poverty that is bothering them when they're in Lagos. There's nobody bothering you from the village. Nobody. It is the government that is making your head to be thinking about there's one old woman in the village who is afflicting you. Why is it that the old woman doesn't follow you to Canada when you get a job in a government, or follow you to
Is
the
it?
US?
It's the
Why?
Atlantic
Why is it
Ocean. Atlantic
Where is
Ocean.
that the old woman who? Where is the old woman who switches off NEPA light now? Don't go to your neighborhood where there are Nigerians and go and be taking off the light. They say that they say they follow through. And then everybody keeps going to church on Sunday and going to mosque on Friday, and then you go back to a symposium, you go back to a crusade, and the more you attend these things, the more you are scammed, and then the church will introduce you to a forex person, or they introduce you to an investment, and you lose all your money because of affliction by God, lack the non-existence of government in Nigeria.
Sure.
And
I know
then
you're going to
so
run away
bad.
from me. You're going to run away from me very soon. So I'm going to use this last few minutes. Tell me about your friend, your very good friend, FFK, because people like him, I think they play a major role in the confusion in Nigeria. So tell us about Femi Fani Kayode and his gymnastics this recent uh, days.
You know, the fact that people accept Femi Fani as a serious person is part of the reason why Nigerians need a lot of work, especially young Nigerians. People are so gullible. If anybody came out now and say, "Oh, I'm a freedom fighter," people don't even check their background. They just start following them. The moment he understands how to wind them, as they say here, uh, Femi Fani has always been a fake human being, fake. And you calling him my friend is almost going to make me sue you when you come back to Nigeria. I'm not comfortable. He's always been fake. But he knew how to play on people's intelligence. So if he knew that if he knew it was the Afra issue that was popular, he would latch on to it. If he knew it was Igboho that's popular, he go to his house and he playing games there. Everybody was Kevin Faneka, and he knows how to just rile people up, make them get upset. But at night, he's going back to the same people. So don't mind them. Or, these Nigerians are stupid. He knows how to play celebrity, and all these things work for him because people are not deep enough to see below the surface. Otherwise, anybody who heard him speak, who see his writings, knows that this guy is as fake as they come. They're as fake as they come. This guy is just yo-yo. So when this happened, in fact, if any of our friends were to be on this show, I mean our friends are saying our colleagues here, when we talk about these characters, I tell them, Femi Fanika, they will go back to Buhari. They said, no, some of them younger people said, no. I said, he will because you know he's led by his esophagus. Hunger determines where his ideology sways. And when he gets really hungry, he will go with anybody. He did it with Obasanjo. He started by abusing Obasanjo, ended up with Obasanjo. Started by abusing Yaradua and Jonathan, ended up with Jonathan. Started by abusing Buhari, Now he has ended up with Buhari. It's even promising that he will help Buhari to show his enemies in the last few days. So please, Femi Fadika is something that should have been a red flag to any discerning Nigeria. But social media can be such a letdown sometimes that they just support a kind of rubbish that is thrown out. The sad part is that the people that have the most followers in Nigeria on social media are the most ridiculous people. Some of them the most senseless human beings. But it's not only Nigeria. Trump has a lot of followers too, and you wonder. So I think these are signs of the times, right?
End times, end times. You know,
Sometimes,
I
like you
know
have
that there's a lot of things to say about the Nigerian government, and sometimes it's almost ridiculous discussing Nigerian government. But let me just give you one topic with which to discuss or tell us about Nigerian government, and we'll end on that note. So Nigerian government went to give bandits money so that they don't just expand on that topic.
no, they said some bandits seized an Air Force truck that had an anti-aircraft battery, an anti-aircraft gun, which can shoot down aircraft. And they discovered that the flight paths where they seized this particular weapon or equipment was where Buhari flies to go to his village. And they went back and begged um, the bandits to sell it back to them at 20 million naira. So, but why is anybody surprised when there are people who are bandits in the government, people who are terrorist sympathizers, people who have expressed their support for terrorism, who are handling sensitive positions in the government? Why are you surprised? They're just paying their friends in their own constituency. Nothing
It's
to surprise
it,
them.
Look, so finally, for the Nigerian, especially the Nigerian youth who has expressed, like, there's a time when it was as if they've lost direction, they've lost hope. I mean, until I mean, without missing words, until your EndSARS tweet came up again, and it's like everything was ignited. For some of them, I want you to just talk to them as we round up so that they realize that the struggle is still on course. Nothing has changed. The federal government is still who they are. And even though it looked like things were not happening, but like you will always say, nobody can stop how do you say, nobody can stop um, an ideology that its time has come. So please, I want
Yeah.
you to inspire our youths and talk to them, even as we look forward to the 20th of October.
I mean, it's just to tell them that for me, no matter what I thought about Nigerian youth before EndSARS in 2020, I felt they're up there again, you know, several notches higher. And I think it is natural that those who saw that powerful message, that very tectonic shift in the attitude of the youth that they always thought was all about entertainment, drugs, and sex, they got scared. It's like they got their voice back on in October of 2020. But sometimes, it might be muffled because they have other challenges. But I think they always have their voice, and it's time now to get their groove back.
Hello?
So I'll say revolution is now. And like that American musician said, when the revolution will come, the revolution will now be televised.
It will not be on the news.
It won't be in the news. The news will
Mr.
be trying to
President.
capture.
Yes,
Thank you.
so Mr. President, it's always exciting to talk with you. You're like an elixir. You're a go-to when it looks like we've lost direction. Maybe you should open a church and we'll come. We'll come for fellowship,
Yeah.
or you
Let's
start.
just call it a fellowship. Yeah, we'll start a fellowship. I've been thinking seriously about reviving the my time on the couch.
Yeah,
Um,
you have to. You have to.
yeah,
Honestly,
yeah. So
there is need for someone
yeah,
to speak
I'm
to
still
us.
working on it.
Everybody, yeah, we have to do it again. A lot of people have actually asked me about it, but I know you have so much on your
I
mind.
do keep asking you about it, but there's a lot going on that we need to wrap up with, and then we'll get back
Yeah.
on the couch again. All right.
Okay. Okay.
Thank you guys so
Thank you.
much.
Thank you so
I'll just say
much.
thank you. Revolution now.
Now,
Salute.
revolution.
Victoria Sata.
Thank you so much, Mr. President. Thank you so much.
Have a
Okay. So that was Omoyele Sowore. He's still the same person that he is. Somebody who has suffered all the things that he has suffered, and he has not been compromised. He has not changed his stand. He's remained consistent. You just have to love that kind of person. And these are the kind of people, they're the kind of people that are the true heroes. You see them, they are consistent. And that's why I respect him. That's why you see that I follow him. That's why he is a leader, and he's a mentor to people like me. And you just have to key in with people like him. Look at Mazinam Kanu. Look, it's the best of the same feather flock together. Forget what you hear on the internet. Forget what you see. These people are strong, have a very strong bond. They have a very strong relationship. Nnamdi Kanu kept tweeting, kept warning people not to criticize Omoyele Sowore when he was arrested. And then you can see now that when Nnamdi Kanu was arrested, from then, Omoyele Sowore has been fighting. There's a lot of things going on in the background that you do not know, even with me. So when you don't see me online, just know that this is not time for too much talk. It is time for action. And then when you see the action manifested, you know that we are talking. All right. Thank you so much for being with us. Remember to subscribe if you have not subscribed on YouTube, and click the notification bell, and also give us a thumbs up on Facebook, and share our videos. Okay. All right. From Toronto, Canada, on behalf of Dr. Erica and every other person who helps us with this broadcast, my name is Dr. Chidi. I love you. Please take care of yourselves. All right. Bye bye.